El Dorado High School art teacher Candy Prince and her students have been on a journey inspired by a book that focuses on positive impacts within your community. In the spirit of this book, teachers were encouraged to submit project ideas to improve their community. Candy proposed that her students adopt a section of desert to clean up and create art with found objects from their cleanup site. Now, as part of that project, we are all invited to submit works of recycled art for an upcoming show called Metamorphosis at the International Museum of Art. Here to tell us about how you can be a part of the show and about the It's Your World project are art teacher and artist Candy Prince and her student, or former student, Crystal Sosa. Welcome to State of the Arts.
Thank you so
Hi,
much.
thank you.
So, Candy, this has been quite a story, and I know I deduced it here because, it's the introduction, but can you take us back to when it all started, almost a year ago?
Yeah,
this
so
time.
it was April of 2016. Actually, the birth of this started probably 4 or 5 years back when the art club kids were talking about how disappointed they were in seeing the new development off of Montana. So it was a lot more desert, but all of a sudden everything's growing like rapidly in El Paso, especially far east. And so there were like food chains and Walmarts and apartments popping up, and all the debris was blowing into the desert on the other side of Montana. And so we had just thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if we took all the trash and made this giant trash monster and just did a huge sculpture, and we kind of let people know like this was created out of 20,000 pieces of trash that we found in the desert. And so that was kind of the birth of it. And then fast forward 5 years later, I'm walking around Barnes & Noble. I see a brochure, and the brochure has an apple on it, so I assume it's for a teacher.
I'm a teacher. Apples call you.
I know.
It works?
I'm drawn to the red. And so I checked out the brochure, and it was for a contest that was hosted by Barnes & Noble in conjunction with a book that Chelsea Clinton had wrote called It's Your World. It was really trying to promote, I guess, growth within your community in some way. So it asked for teachers to submit ideas about how to improve their community. And so we went back to that idea 5 years previously. And so we decided, why don't we adopt a section of the highway, clean it up, turn the trash into artwork, have a traveling art exhibit. And in the proposal, I said, because we have our sister cities, so we have El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. And so we thought, why would we just stop at El Paso? Why wouldn't we include our sister cities? And so it's a region-wide thing that we're trying to get everybody involved in. And so, I submitted it and I forgot about it. And so months later, I got an email saying, congratulations, you're the sole winner.
Sole winner.
And so it was out of the whole nation.
Wow, Candy, that's incredible.
Thanks, yeah. And at first I thought it was a joke. Like, I just thought, I've misread this. There's got to be a catch. And so I reread it. And then I responded to her and I said, I just need you to humor me because I really... Is this
happening?
Yeah, because the grand prize was Chelsea Clinton herself coming to do a kickoff event. And I thought... is this the Chelsea Clinton or is it some other Chelsea Clinton that has the same name, or what's the catch? And they were like, no, it's the Chelsea Clinton and she's coming in 2 weeks. And I was like,
okay.
Yeah, it was just crazy. Yeah.
I remember seeing it in the paper. Were you there for that, Crystal?
I think I was doing an event with the theater or something. So I just remember a lot of people flooding into the theater because they were so excited to see Chelsea. And then I saw Miss Prince and Chelsea Clinton just walking together into the theater. And it was just it was so cool because I was like, wow, this is really happening.
There's no turning back now.
I know. It was wild.
And that's the kickoff. So between that kickoff and now, you guys really did clean up the desert and then clean up the stuff that you collected and been doing workshops and showing people how to make art out of trash. It's a beast.
It is a beast. And I feel like I have my teaching job, but then this is another job on the side.
Of course.
And so I feel like I'm really grateful to the school because they allow me to have 2 classes that are called It's Your World. And so I can't fathom how I would have pulled this together without the kids. I just don't know how I would have done it.
Well, there's no way.
No, because... what do? We meet on weekends? We meet after school? There's just no way. And so these kids in these classes have become my board members. We have board meeting Mondays and we go over.
Official?
Yeah. And so we've created newsletters. And so anybody can sign up for updates on that. But I needed kids that were writers, photographers, editors, kids to be in charge of social media, in charge of the YouTube. It's a beast. Like you said, it's a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now you have this contest.
Yes.
And in addition to all the other stuff that you've been doing, you've decided to have an art show at the International
Because I have so much
Museum
free
of
time.
Art. Right. But that one's open to all of us. So, I mean, it's clear you've impacted your direct community, but now you're kind of reaching out to us.
Really, when I did the proposal, it's kind of grown from when I submitted to Barnes & Noble. It was in phases. And so phase 1 was cleanup. Phase 2 was wash and sort the trash. Phase 3 was reach out to the community to do workshops. I'm so grateful to MCAD because they helped me with funding to help pay artists within the community to give the workshops and to buy the materials that we so greatly needed. So that is still going on, like crazy amounts of workshops. And so from the Girl Scouts to PBS Kids Fiesta to libraries to, I mean, it's been massive. So that was one of the other phases was the community workshops. And now here we are in one of the final phases, which is the art contest. And so we want the art contest to in turn turn into a traveling art exhibit. The contest is really open to every single age level, elementary, middle, high school, and adult. Anybody can do it. We want the macaroni art all the way up to the professional, artists who've been doing it forever. The only real rule is that there has to be some component of recycled materials within the artwork. I mean,
and you either find it yourself or they can help themselves to your stash.
Yeah, so we have a stash. And you guys come and get a hold of me, please, because I don't know what I'm going to do with all these tires if you don't come and get them. So we do have a stash. We have a portable where everything has been sorted, and it's beautifully sorted. I mean, the kids got OCD about it. If anybody wants to get a hold of me, they can go, make an appointment, go through our stuff.
Shopping your portable.
Totally. Yeah, you can have my trash. So now that deadline is coming up for the contest. It's going to be, submissions are March 31st.
Okay.
But we thought it might be kind of hard for people to do deliveries of artwork, so we're doing photo submissions.
Oh, good. So they can submit their photo. If they're selected, then you'll figure out how to transport it to the museum.
So whether selected or not, we'll respond and say congratulations during the show, or, either way, because I always hated wondering.
Right. It's nice to have a response either way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so the cool thing is that some of the benefits of this are that you'll be showcased if chosen at the International Museum of Art. Chelsea Clinton is coming back for a meet and greet. And so she wants to see the exhibit. And so, I mean, how many people can say this girl, she lived in the White House, former, first daughter. That's amazing. Politics aside, Democrat, Republican, I'm not really even focusing on that. I'm just focusing on helping the community, helping the arts, helping the environment. And I think it's really cool that she's coming back to do that on her own dime.
And to see what she started, right? Because
I
don't know that maybe even she thought that the idea would get this big.
No, I don't think she did.
Did you?
No. She did say, whenever we had the kickoff, she goes, you're going to invite me back for the reception, right? And I was like, well,
yes.
Yeah. I mean, you want to come? And she's like, good, because if you don't invite me, I'm coming back anyway. And I thought that was real cool. And so at first I thought, well, I mean, I'm sure she's, trying to promote her book or whatever. But the media was there that day, and she said, I don't want to see them. I don't have time right now. I just want to spend time with the kids. And I thought, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really cool. I think it got bigger than she had anticipated it getting, which is cool. It kicked us off, and I appreciate that. Also, they can sell their work. Artists can sell their work. A portion of the proceeds, we are asking that they do donate to 3 of our nonprofits. So Make-A-Wish, Humane Society, and the Chihuahuan Desert Education Coalition. And so here we are. We're helping the environment. We're helping the artists. But we're also trying to help our local nonprofits by giving some of the proceeds back to them. They, in turn, have come to help us with the cleanup. So it's kind of like this full circle thing that's kind of cool.
It's pretty beautiful. And Crystal, you've been on this journey. Well, you and fellow students. And at this point, you've graduated, but you're still hanging out.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. It's actually been really cool to see how everything has come together, because I remember when Miss Prince was, I wasn't back 4 or 5 years when it first started, but I remember when she was talking about the idea of a desert cleanup project and then making art out of it. And it's so cool to see this dream of hers coming true, and people really, really excited to be a part of it. It's really beautiful that everyone is coming together to make art out of things that would have just stayed there probably for a really long time.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. And even the It's Your World classes, it's really cool to see kids doing different things, writing the newsletter and photographing things. These are also kids who are kind of experimenting in what they want to do, kids who want to grow up and study journalism, things like that. It's really, really nice for people to gain experience in something.
there's so many people that want to help, but they just don't know how.
Right.
Whether they're artists or not. I mean, artists, I really hope they step up, because, we're always complaining about not being able to afford supplies. And so, like, there's supplies readily available everywhere. And so I hope they step up, because without my students, without the community participating, this is destined to fail. So if you have a contest or you have an exhibit but nobody enters, it's not going to work. So I hope they participate, every age level, but we also have cash value prizes as well. And if you choose, your work can continue on to Las Cruces and Juarez, where we want to have exhibits as well.
Well, I'm pretty confident that people will show up. It's that whole thing, if you throw a party, are they going to show up?
Yeah.
But I'm pretty confident. I mean, so far, it's been going your way, and, anybody can participate, like you said, all ages. Just have an element of recycled art, and hopefully make it into the show and meet Chelsea Clinton.
Yeah. And if people need to get a hold of us, they can go to itsyourworldproject@gmail.com. Email me, and I will send you the link.
You have plenty of time to participate. The deadline is March 31st.
Yes.
All ages. And do you mind saying the email one more time?
itsyourworldproject@gmail.com.
All right. Well, today my guests have been Miss Candy Prince, teacher extraordinaire from El Dorado High School, and her former student, Crystal Sosa. Thank you all so much for coming to the Arts.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
For creating this project.
Yay, thanks.